That's not why I am who I am.
But I'm just saying.
I just like getting freaky. I mean, I would say the amount of sex partners I have would indicate I am desired.
Oh, this dummy. Oh, no.
Why do men prefer women with lower body counts?
Oh, my God. They don't even know.
We're trying to relieve a little bit of pressure off of them.
Baby girl, all you do is relieve pressure from their scrotum.
Can you tell me some things you love about men?
Yeah, some of them have great sense of humor. Some of them are super helpful and funny. And I mean, I like men the same reasons I like women.
She can't describe men without describing the girls that she also muff dives under.
Why do men want a woman with a low body count?
Come on.
And the answer is because we're not equal.
All right. We're back. Shout out to everybody that joins me for this conversation. We did part 1 of this video a couple of days ago, but they came back and hit us with a part 2 with a lot more interesting conversations. Shout out to the Dr. Daff Show. Y'all are absolutely killing it over there. All right. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel over there, make sure you go over there and show them some respect, okay? And also shout out to Maggie, the substitute teacher, who came through again and just laid the hammer down. All right. We call her Elder Maggie over here. By the way, Maggie, okay, no disrespect with the elder term. All right. We say that because of the degree of wisdom that comes from you, right? Having the ability as well as the opportunity to get in front of the younger generation and these feminists and inject wisdom onto them and reality onto them within a conversation that they probably never had before. We appreciate you for that. These are the podcasts, these are the moments that I love to be able to break down because it reminds us why looking back actually helps us see a path and a way forward, all right? And the elders amongst us, they live through it in real time so they can speak with reality, not theorizing, not theory crafting, but reporting, all right? So go grab your popcorn yet again, sit back, relax, and let's get active, baby, without further ado.
And the final prompt is, there is no shame in having a high body count. No. Okay.
Well, I think that shame leads to repentance, and repentance leads to changed behavior. And so having a high body count, like, for example, I talk to people in my community, in the Christian community, and I speak with people, and women that do have high body counts, they tend to struggle with like BPD, borderline personality disorder, other personality issues,
ADHD.
Comparison, even struggling with being satisfied in the bedroom with their husbands because they had so many other sexual partners. So I do think that there should be shame. I think there should be shame if men are sleeping around. I will say that there's accountability for that too. That's not right. So, but this is like our Christian beliefs. So in my Christian beliefs are both of us should be waiting until marriage. So
yeah, it's not good for either. It's way worse for women. Why? Because women get pregnant and there are more STDs that they can't even feel that can be ravaging through their orifice. And also that pesky little life that might form, right? Like unintended pregnancies will put women more at a disadvantage than will put men. This, amongst many other factors, is why women are the ones that grant access to sex. So it is incumbent on them to say no to foreign invaders.
I want to address the statistics there because people with higher body counts do show higher satisfaction in relationships, specifically also like couples who have more sex over time experience happier sexual relationships like that. The other thing, I want to make sure that we're getting the causation right here. Women or people with BPD struggle with higher impulsive sexual behavior. It's not people who are more sexual struggle with BPD. I want to make sure we're not like saying this thing is causing like high sexual behavior is causing BPD. It just happens to be that this group of people, that's like saying that people who have like hallucinations struggle with schizophrenia or whatever. We're like, okay, well, yeah, you're going to look at a population that has a high level of that and say, oh, well, they have high levels of this. Well, yeah, that's like the population you're looking at. That's like saying also that men happen to be more suicidal and then saying like, oh, it's a thing with men. Like it is just a fact about being a male that makes you more suicidal, which is not true. Like you're getting the causation kind of mixed up. I want to make sure that's very clear.
Yeah, it's not true because actually women try to self-delete more than what men do. Just men are more successful at it. unfortunately. This framing, though, is just not useful. People who are neurodivergent may suffer from impulse control. Specifically, I've seen this within ADHD hyperactivity. And if they stumbled across any type of sexual material as a kid and it was gratifying for them, then their brains might attach onto that from a dopamine perspective, which will then lead to risky behavior as they come of age. Let's go.
I mean, I feel like I'm going to speak from a whole different type of language where I think that when you are laying down with someone, you're creating a soul tie. So I do think that that will lead to some type of just spiritual bonding.
Do you have like an argument that there's like a spiritual, or is this just like religious?
Yeah, it's just my religious beliefs, yeah.
Okay, there's no evidence. I mean, I can't argue with that.
Anyone else?
I feel like we're looking at different statistics on the relational satisfaction because women with higher body counts get divorced at a far higher rate. And they also, it's harder for them to pair bond with their husbands.
Yeah.
Because
women with 10 plus bodies or more have the highest divorce rates.
they've had so many past partners.
So pair bonding research is really not super strong, right? This idea of like oxytocin being released and stuff like that. The pair bonding is quite weak, evidentially. Like
Explain pair bonding between a mother and a child then. Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened, and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And it's a nasty, disgusting feeling knowing that there's bad actors out there selling my information, selling your information for profit. But that's why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura. Now, I use Aura to automatically remove my information from these sites and keep my information off. But they do other things as well, such as bank fraud and identity theft alerts, VPN access. But guys, utilize my link down in the description box down below for a 14-day trial. At least see if you've been compromised. Privacy is king in this day and age, and you should know if your information is out there. So again, utilize my link, aura.com/MTR, in the description box down below to try 2 weeks free. That's way more than enough time to see if your personal data has been exposed. Go now.
It's just increasingly becoming an unpopular theory around sex and sexual bonding, right? It seems like intimacy and closeness over time predicts closeness rather than these sort of things. I guess to kind of speak to the shame piece more directly, being Christian as well, there is immeasurable amounts of sexual shame in the church. So guilt, when you're talking about repentance, guilt drives behavioral change. Shame doesn't. Shame drives lying and closing down and not talking to others. Complete
bullshit. Guilt and shame can do that. See, you guilt or shame in order to influence a behavior, dependent upon the aptitude of the person and also the results that they want to get out of life, will determine how it is that they take that guilt and as well as that shame. Some people will then be realigned back to the straight and narrow, whereas others might hide it. They might go completely outside of the lines because they're a color outside of the lines type of a person. Now, I'm not going to say that guilt and shame are the best method, but they are methods. Okay, let's go.
If you look at the rates, for example, of vaginismus, if you guys don't know what that is, it's when sex and any form of penetration is exceptionally painful for a woman. It is 3 times higher in religious groups. As a woman who's been I'm married for 8 years, I only have a body count of 1, came from a very Christian background. My Christian background and the tying of sexual shame that was there was so hard on my marriage. And in fact, if you talk to a lot of religious women, they're gonna tell you this, right? A lot of my friends, for example, say, my virginity was so tied to my value that when I lost it to my husband, I thought I was dirty, right? Look at the rates of orgasm amongst religious married women. So shame in general, when it comes to sexuality, seems mostly just to lead to worse outcomes. There can be conversations about impulsivity, right? About choosing who your partner is more wisely. I'm actually open to those conversations. The issue is that when we shame people for their body count, it's disproportionately women, right? If you look at these, and I agree that you're consistent, it's both for you. Look at these red pill podcasts. All they want to do is get their body count up and shame women for giving them that body count, right? This leads to worse relationships.
What is
the prompt is, there is no shame in having a high body count. You must not be listening. Do you think that it's better that you went into your marriage with a body count of 1, or if you went into your marriage with a body count of 100? Because I can tell you, looking down this line, there's at least 2 women down up in here, and I'm talking to you, Rose, in odd 1972 collar over here. they flexing about 1,000 between the two of them, right? I have no doubt that if you over suppress, if you act like sex is so much the boogeyman, that's going to cause a sexual disturbance within a relationship. I think there's somewhere right in the middle, more leaning towards modesty that works best for all. But please stay on the prompt.
Body count. I'm curious. What's the number?
Wait, what?
To worse relationships.
Let's listen.
What is a high body count?
Uh-oh.
I'm curious. What's the number? What's the number?
I don't think it's
I'm
necessarily
curious.
a number. I think it's more so the idea of sleeping around for no reason and not having
Well, there's definitely a
any
reason.
commitment.
I know, right?
Sure. And I would actually agree with the shame part in religion. I
told
think
you.
purity culture can be very dangerous. It's seen as more of a sin than anything else, and it's very damaging to women. And we see this even in marriages, like you said, women still think sex is a sin in their marriage. I think that's a problem. So I think it's not so much I don't think we need to bring back shame to women. I think it's more so that being sexual and being promiscuous shouldn't be celebrated as much in our culture as it is.
Sure, but the prompt was specifically, is it more shameful, right? And you guys said yes. That is necessarily bringing more shame to women.
It actually was not the prompt. The prompt is no shame in a high body count, and you said no at a body count of 1. You don't even believe your own bullshit. It's funny how they never answer this question with integrity, and it's funny that they quote male podcasts. Meanwhile, the female podcasts never encroach on this subject.
So if body count doesn't matter, if it shouldn't matter, what is your body count?
I would prefer not to say. I also prefer not to say. Just out of respect for my family.
For the family. Who's the gangster who's going to actually come in and share? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would rather not say. Obviously, I'm not going to say.
One girl starts off a domino effect. Go ahead.
Good. I won't say. I'm sorry. I prefer not to say.
Even though you guys say body count doesn't matter, your refusal to share it would indicate to me that it matters. You know it matters, and that's why you refuse to share it.
It's necessarily doing the thing you're opposed to.
Okay, well, I mean, I have a yes or no. So I'm not going to say no because I don't think that being sexually promiscuous is good for anyone. So that's why I said. That wasn't the prompt.
Okay. So I want to chime in here and say that I grew up in a very conservative religion that shamed you for any type of sex outside of marriage. What did that lead to? What did shaming people about body count lead to in that kind of religious situation? People lied about it. Here's the natural truth about humans. All of us have sex. Even when we pretend we don't have sex, we are all still having sex. I don't care if it's the 1950s or it's 2025. Every person is having sex. That's just the reality of it. Some people want to have sex less than others. Some people want to have sex more than others. Okay. And none of that is about who they are morally as a person. I am a person who happens to consider myself to be hypersexual. It's just part of who I am. It's always been part of who I am. And when I was 14, growing up in a very religious church that told me that who I was as a person was bad, that was really harmful for me as a person. I was depressed as a child. I was on antidepressants. I thought something was broken in myself. And when I finally left that religion and the shackles of the shame that had been placed on me by the patriarchy in that religion, I realized there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just this type of person. And here's the deal.
Oh my God. Did y'all just hear what she was 14 years old. She categorizes herself as hypersexual. And then once she was able to escape the church and the grips and the clutches of the patriarchy, she found out that she's not a bad person. Baby girl, you was having sex at 14. That's way too young. And this is just exactly what I said earlier. She talked about depression and like these mental health things. Oftentimes these neurodivergent people, and some of them, they don't get discovered that they're neurodivergent until later on in life. If they have impulsivity or like a lack of discipline within their diagnosis, and if they see something of sexual nature and or origin as a very young person, it significantly increases the likelihood that it becomes a fixture or a part of them of how they get their dopamine or how that they get gratified, which is why it's so important to block sexual images from young people as much as possible. Especially as our young brains are developing, we find odd ways to cope with situations and or scenarios that we are presented with. Protect them kids and fathers. Stay in y'all daughters' lives. And if not, this is who she will become. Complaining as an adult that as a 14-year-old kid, you are upset that people repressed you from being a thought. By the way, I done told you I have fantastic HODAR, okay? 304 DAR. I can spot it from a mile away, baby. It was either the collars or them bedazzled shoes. And on this one, look at the dirtiness in this one's shoes right here. Every young lady that I have met ever, forget the hair, But with them type of shoes on, the Adidas, you heard, with the scuff marks, look like she bought it like that. Oh, nah, man. She's doing whatever. She's down with the crew, you heard?
People who like to have sex with a lot of people, we like to date other people who like to have sex with a lot of people. And people who don't like to have sex with a lot of people should date people who don't have sex with a lot of people.
Okay.
And it doesn't say anything about who they are as a person or their value as a human being or how good they are or how bad they are. It means nothing. It means nothing. It's just a bodily function that most people end up doing. And that's how I feel about sexuality. And if you want to get your freak on, get it on. And if you don't, keep it locked up in a chastity cage. I literally don't care. But it doesn't mean anything about you morally.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think a lot of people are using their personal experiences to define their reality. So
Yep.
you say like you grew up religious, they told you don't do this, so obviously you're going to do the exact opposite.
That's not why I am who I am.
But I'm just saying.
I just like getting freaky.
Sure, there could be some.
That's why you got bad
there,
skin.
though. Like I think having multiple sex partners, like loosely having sex with different men, not only is it dangerous
Risky.
because you can catch STDs.
Come on.
This is why you guys are having abortions.
She's had at least 5.
This is why you're not desired.
Oh.
It's a lot of things that is happening.
I mean, I would say the amount of sex partners I have would indicate I am desired.
Oh,
I mean,
this
that's-
dummy. Oh, no. Yeah, this is what happens with these modern women. They associate with the amount of like, ladies, understand this. We can go deep inside you and not even like you. Please hear me when I say this. I'm trying to give y'all game, baby. We don't even have to like you. In fact, I can loathe you. I can legitimately not want to. I don't even got to look at your face, though, because that's not what I'm here for. Sorry. Be mad at me all that you want. All of the dudes right now in the comment section, whether or not they're going to write a comment or not, they absolutely understand what I'm saying. We don't care. Okay, sorry, but if you're gonna let me into this smooth, buttery substance that I can benefit from, you heard, it just is what it is. Somehow they've connected that men that want to go inside of them is a signal for retention, is a signal for someone that we want to take serious. And no, it is anything but the truth. This is not the flex that you think, ma'am. Men should be earning access to your insides, but you give it away free 99. So why are we gonna buy the cow when the milk is ultimately free? And in fact, you're lowering the market of coochie. This is the fall of the coochie market index from hoes like her that just give it away willy-nilly. We thank you for your services, but we don't respect you. We know that, and in fact, you know that. Complemented by the tears that sift your pillow each and every night.
It's like, are you getting?
But you also just said men
but men value women that they marry, not women that they
She
have
doesn't
sex
care
with.
about
So
men.
Women that they have sex with is usually just a throwaway.
But again,
Yes.
men who like to have sex like to be with women who like to have sex. So they actually just partner together. Like that's the
She's
reality.
lost.
They just partner together.
I just personally feel like you guys probably don't ever listen to men. Men like women with a low body count. You could just listen to
I like
them
her.
and they'll tell you this out of their mouth. You
Yeah,
don't
but
have to
they-
go
but-
looking for this.
But again, this is the conversation. The men I like to date are like me, and they like to have lots of partners because we are good in bed and we're experienced.
But you guys are
and
always
they are,
speaking
and those
for
men
the-
want to
We
have a
don't-
woman who they own their virginity.
You're
Great,
always
you can have
speaking
them.
for the exception and not
Godspeed.
the rule, though. Why do you guys in all of your arguments today? You represented the exception and not the rule.
I'm asking why do men prefer women with lower body counts?
Oh my God,
Is it
they
just
don't even know.
because they- Or is
These
there a
are the
reason?
women that have to bear their
Because
children.
ignorance is bliss, and they don't want to be
These are the women
compared.
that have to bear their children.
Come on, Maggie.
You guys seem to have a problem a little bit with men, like just comments that you're making.
Yeah.
But yet you.
I have no problem with men. I'm straight.
Well,
I
you-
love men.
I
The
just
good
heard.
ones.
I just heard like multiple just negative comments about men. Like
You
they like
do
to put
realize
their.
that men are responsible for 90% of
Here
the
we
violent
go.
crime.
But you're
You talk-
sleeping with many of them.
Yeah,
so
but
do you
we
like?
still,
Thank you for your
still
service.
love men.
90% of the violent crime, that still does not represent all men. That still would be
Exactly.
the
That's my point,
minority
though, is
of
that
men.
it doesn't represent
So men
all
are
men. None of us
awesome. Men
are
are great. They
against-
protect you, just like they
We're not
assault
anti-men.
women. They protect women. They fight wars, so you don't have to.
From other men. They protect you from generally another man. So enough with that.
Okay, that is protecting whom?
But I'm saying
Everybody's
I'm not against
protect-
men.
Okay, but
You
they're
literally
doing
just
it
put
to
words in my
protect
mouth
their.
saying, "Oh, I'm anti-man." I'm not.
I didn't
I'm
say you were
straight.
anti-man.
I f- men. A lot of them.
I didn't say you
No,
were
I'm serious.
anti-man.
I don't.
I'm pretty
so
sure
tired
that
of
we
feminists
all
being labeled
love
as
men.
anti-man. We're not. In fact, I think feminists help men because we're trying to relieve a little bit of pressure off of them. Like
But they're
I'm
not
not
asking for
anti-man.
that. They
Oh,
would rather
baby
you-
girl, all you do is relieve pressure from their scrotum.
Damn!
That's all that you're useful for. Besides that, the young ladies on the right are making a fantastic point, in it being that you say that you understand men, but you don't talk to men. And we know that you don't talk to men or have the empathy enough to listen or understand from their perspective, because if you did, you would understand what men are looking for to keep for long term, what men are looking for that they feel valued to provide and protect over. Y'all are just sexual throwaways. Any man who is serious about building legacy, building something solid with somebody, right, creating a family with, is going to take a look at your history and move on. Now, you might find some type of simp that's been devoid of sexual experience and allows prioritization of his toes being wrapped behind his head because the tantamount amount of eggplants that been in your mouth. So that experience levies an experience that he hasn't ever felt before in his life, and he's willing to drop and but you don't want that type of man anyway, baby. And those relationships never last because the foundation, for him at least, is your beyond overly used insides, your insides that you've been to the abortion clinic with time and time again, because the thrill will eventually wear off and the foundation was built on salt and mud.
Just respect them. They would just rather respect. They don't care about none of the things
Just because we don't
you have
worship
to
men
offer.
doesn't mean that we don't like them. I don't put them on a pedestal. I don't treat them like they're princes. I'm not like, oh, what great, amazing dudes. I like men just fine. I'm unfortunately straight too.
Question on this side, for especially for those of you who love men, right?
Right.
What can you tell me something to love about men?
Yeah, some of them have great sense of humor. Some of them are super helpful and funny. And I mean, I like men the same reasons I like women. These are all just human traits. You're funny, you're smart, you're good looking, you take care of me. I have girlfriends like that. I'm not by side. I mean,
we're not talking about
friends or girls.
She can't describe men without describing the girls that she also muff dives under. Interesting.
Because you said that a lot of people think feminists hate men. I want to know, without talking about women, only talking about men, what do you like about men? About their uniqueness.
Good question.
Of being, I'm asking the men lovers.
See, I guess I'm trying to think about what makes men unique, though. Because when I like a man, they're funny, they're smart, they're good looking. But I could describe a woman with these terms.
Okay, so you don't think that
there's no difference
that are unique necessarily?
Well, I mean, I'm born straight, so I can't say like I choose to be attracted to men. Like this is how I was born. You know what I mean? So like I can't tell you what that's about, but I can say that I like men because they're funny, they're smart, some of them, they can protect me if I need to sometimes. Like, I understand why you like men, but I think you can all understand that they have traits that are not good, right? Like, you have men you
Here
don't
we go.
like, right?
She
you know
can't
that not all men
go
are
a
great.
sentence.
And I want to know what you like about men, too, without PG.
PG, right. So I would say a lot of my good friends are men. I think men are smart and funny, just like she was saying. I think that I'm sexually attracted to men. I think they're pretty much the exact same as women. But if I were choosing like to hang out with someone one-on-one, I'd probably pick a woman because I'd probably be safer because they probably wouldn't be trying to, I don't know, have sex with me as an ulterior motive.
So it sounds like a lot of,
but I mean, I just don't see men as like a special category that they need to be worshipped in some separate way. Like, oh, men are really the reason why I'm here. I think the reason why I'm here is women. I tend to worship women more than men.
But don't you know that
Notice that she said she got a bunch of guy friends, by the way.
and allow you to have your rights? Because if it really came down to it, they can just overpower you and take all of your rights.
Actually, I have rights because of women. I have rights because women
You have
who
rights
came
because
before
of
me.
men.
No, I have rights because of women.
No.
I'm here because of women.
Okay, and if they declare war on you because of your rights, what happens? You all die.
Okay, you're having a hypothetical conversation about something that hasn't happened.
I'm
having a real conversation about the fact that the reason why I'm able to vote is not because of men, but because of hard-working women.
And who allowed it?
It's men that allowed it.
A few good
Who
men.
allowed these things to happen? Men, not a few. A lot of good men. A lot of good men. Why do you think there are no woman civilizations? Because men will take them down.
If you create gender into class, then men are also pedophiles and rapists and criminals, by your logic. You realize that, right?
Yes, but guess what? That is the minority of them.
I would say men are not rapists. Some men who are
The
bad
minority.
do
You
bad
heard
things.
the minority. Most men
No,
are
we're
not
because
criminals.
I am not treating gender like a class.
Right.
I understand that police officers and soldiers are more often
What the
men,
fuck?
but that doesn't mean that men who are not those things suddenly get to be like, actually, I'm doing forced doctrine too. No, you've got a small group of young men who are given fiat authority by a bunch of state men to enact rights that all of us agreed on. That's how democracy works. If you want to treat gender like a class, then you have to say men are soldiers and men are rapists. And I think this is not true. Some men are rapists and some men are soldiers.
Well, it just sounds like, I mean, like, so if a man tells you to do something, you're going to do it. Do you, I mean, are you a woman
if he's
who falls
my
in
husband,
line?
absolutely. Yes, I
If he's your
serve him.
husband.
I'm here to
If you said
serve.
if he's your husband. Yeah, that makes sense. But let's talk about just some random ass man.
If a random man just asked me to do something.
That's what I'm saying. Like you
something
just a
like
minute
what?
ago
Like
said, like,
what?
oh, men, if they could come in and just do this, like they can take our rights from us. It's like, yeah, that's why we're here.
But
We're
that's
here
just to
make sure
show
that
you
doesn't
that
happen.
men are not your
But you
enemy.
make it sound
That's
like
all
I'm supposed to
saying.
fall in line.
But you guys are, everything you're saying is because of the men, because of the patriarchy.
That's not what patriarchy
men
doesn't refer to men.
not your
Refers to a system.
enemy.
Yeah, no,
They're not-
patriarchy is a system.
I know, but
Okay.
I said because of the patriarchy. Men are not your enemy, is what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that if men didn't want you to have rights, you wouldn't have them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you.
So they could be pieces of shit. Like,
That just proves that they're not pieces of shit.
Oh, she's so good. What is her name? She's 1,000% correct. You have rights because men allow you to have rights. Just giving the example right here. So what if a random man just asks you to do something? Are you going to do it? It depends on the context. Does that man have a gun in his hand, right? And he's telling me to give me my watch, my keys, right? Then I got to make a decision. Give it up or fight for my life. Take that same situation, but it's a homeless man who's asking you for money on the street, you in your car with the window rolled up. The consequences to your answer to the homeless man are markedly different than the man that is sticking you up for your coin. But irrespective, a man or a woman in both of those situations will have to make a choice to comply or not. They're so detached from reality and actual violence that they forget that the world is so much bigger than the internet or the social media that they, make all their points on. They don't take themselves out of the current culture and exchange themselves, let's say for an Afghanistan, where men actively deny women rights. Women cannot rise up in that portion of Afghanistan and take their rights back. They can only do that with the help of other men. This is not theory, this is law in those portions of the country.
How long have we had rights? How long have we had them? How long?
I could say the same thing about black people.
About
I'm not over here
105
complaining
years
about
we've
being
had
black in America.
14 countries out of 190 countries, women actually have rights. And what those rights are, there's like a whole chart, but only 14. Like if you go anywhere else in the world, your rights can be taken away just because of the body you have. And like we're very grateful to be in this country where we do have rights, but we've only had them for 105 years. We have to defend those rights against the bad men that are openly talking about repealing the 19th and like women should stay in the kitchen. Like it's not all men.
It's not all men.
I have great men in my life. I love them. I just hung out with one of them last night, and it's like they're so caring. I do love men. I just don't love all men. I hate abusive men. And good men know that when we're talking about them.
Can I ask one question? What would it take for you guys to no longer be feminism, to say, feminists, to say, hey, we have all equal rights now, we have everything we need. When does the movement stop? Because it seems like it never stops.
It's not going to stop because they now have already overturned Roe v. Wade. We've seen a right that we fought for and won taken back. So now we have to come back to the fight.
They overturned it to give it to the states, which means the people within those states can vote on how they want to do things.
Well, then it's not a right. If it can be stopped at an invisible line, then it's not a right anymore.
It was
and that's
never
why we're
supposed to
here
be
fighting
there
for
in
those
the
rights.
first place. It's not in the Constitution. It was never supposed to be there in the first place.
Neither was the women's right to vote or anything else. Like,
I personally, very controversial, I don't think women should vote. Because we get women like this that say all of these crazy things.
You don't vote then, right?
No, I do vote.
Why? Lead by example. This is what I'm saying. You're all here using your voice to tell me that you don't want one.
I have to combat women like you, so I have to vote.
No, you're using your voice to tell me you don't want a voice, so go home.
That's why men are more logical, because you guys are always on the wrong side of issues.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You don't even know why you're doing the things that you're doing. You just do things, and then you blame men.
let me tell this, like, I'm going to say this right now, and I hope this gets on camera, and let me say this.
Okay.
Being on the side of a woman's right to vote is never the wrong side of an issue. issue. Every person here is a human being. Voting is a human right. I won't sit here and have a conversation about repealing human rights and pretend that that's a normal conversation to be having. Women deserve the right to vote because we are human beings. We deserve to be treated like humans, and we are not more emotional than men. When a man throws a remote at a television and breaks it after a football game, then have a conversation with me about who's more emotional.
The other thing, though, about the voting thing, though, for me
I'll be honest, I am not in the vote of repealing women's right to vote. I hear some of the arguments, and I can understand some of the arguments, but we're all citizens, so we all should have a degree, right, to be able to give our sides and perspectives irrespective of what it is that we currently believe in, how stupid that it actually is, right? And even hearing how they think about men or violent activities, right? Like if you ask these people about the best ways to run a country where your opposition are evil warlords, right? Like they're just, let's kumbaya and peace and, let's just think and talk about it, right? Like and all type of other bullshit that just will never work. Nevertheless, I actually think there's more of an argument here, right? If I was to repeal anybody's right to vote, it would be through IQ test, right? I think that you should have a certain degree of intelligence to be able to have your vote matter, or at least if you score under a certain amount, maybe your vote is weighted, right? Like we put your ballot in like the yellow bus votes, right? Where everything is weighted like 0.1% of a normal, intelligent person vote. Maybe that's a way we can, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not going to say that, IQ standardized test is the best way to do that. But I do think that the least intelligent amongst us has a higher likelihood to be led astray by some propaganda or some bullshit, as opposed to what is more correct or more right for all. Let's go.
That this country was founded because of taxation without representation. And so if women don't vote, then I'm not going to pay, then we shouldn't pay taxes, right? Because that's taxation without representation.
Yeah, you don't have to work either. That's the point. Your man will pay the taxes. That is exactly the point. You won't work.
What world?
Okay.
I don't know. I actually wanted to answer your question. You asked about body count, coming back to body count,
come back.
Which was the last prompt. And you said, why do men want a woman with a low body count?
Come on.
And the answer is because we're not equal. And again, this is going to always be the fallacy and the flaw with feminism, because you're going to be fighting for an equality that does not exist. I'm not saying better or worse. I'm saying we are different. Now, it depends on what you want intimacy for. If you want to be out there doing it with everybody, you absolutely have your right to do that. Please be loud and proud. We want to see you coming. The men love women like that to have fun with. However, when you talk about love, when you talk about marriage, when you talk about a committed relationship, most of us, when you get to your old age, usually you have one, if you're lucky, like me, two great loves. You don't think about the string of casual sex that has been promoted and think of that like, man, I really got it all in. Most of us don't. You're free to do that if you want to, but I'm just saying, as we age, what's going to really matter is the relationships, the marriages, the families, the relationships that meant something, the intimacy that meant something. You can do as much as you want to with whoever you want to, but I do agree, the way casual sex is promoted now, it is hurting us. It may be fun in the moment, but it's going to hurt us, and we're all going to pay the price for it.
Thank you so much for being here.
It's just incredible the way that she can just slow down, bring us all back to a central location, and then just wrap up with the incredible summary that paints a picture of what is most beneficial for you in a way that all you can do is just look down and awkwardly smile at your soul that just left your body. What Maggie's able to do is an incredibly difficult skill, to read people for filth while also pleasantly talking to them to a degree that they can still receive the information. That's a difficult thing to do. So kudos to Maggie for being able to slow it down like that towards the end. But she's absolutely right. We're not equal. We could be equally valued, but for very different things. And if women have the valve for sex, for lack of a better word, they get to turn that thing on and off. They get to choose it, okay? Some of them tout from the mountaintops that Cho-Cha runs the world, and they say that because they can, to a degree, control and manipulate their surroundings or their situations. Or men that are much more powerful than them, but manipulate men to do things that they want with that thing in between their legs. But if you are incentivized by the thought of building a family, right, initiating, creating a family, and you want a guy that respects you, then more often than not, masculine men do not value high-ass body count. Women, and more specifically, average-looking women have less wiggle room when it comes to having a thought past, right? Women who are 304s and they are a solid 9 in the face, like legit 9, not the type of 9 that they would probably call themselves if asked to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, right? But legit 9s. Men are more likely to forgive that because men are more suckers for something that visually entices or excites them. I don't think that they should be, but this is a biological fact and truth that I can't escape. So I try to warn men to never allow the alignment or the aesthetics of their face or their hamstrings deter logic from an obvious red flag the size of Halley's Comet. But these women will delude themselves of what they look like. They will delude themselves that the more that they give their insides away, that the more valuable that they are, or that men will accumulate their large body counts as being valuable or useful. Meanwhile, guys, I'll say it like this from my perspective, and this is coming from somebody, and I hate to tap my own horn because by nature I'm a humble person, but I'm almost 6'3", you know, at least my mom thinks I'm handsome, you know what I'm saying? I've not ever had like a problem or trouble in getting women, but I will say, like, as I look back on my life, I don't even remember like half of the women, right, that have been in and around my space, right? And I think that it's important, right? Like their names, I don't remember. And I think that it's important for women to understand that, right? Because again, however it is that you are establishing value for yourself within your life, you have to understand the biology of men, all right? And you have to cross-reference that towards the information that you are receiving from the media, okay? Which is incentivized, or they make more money by distributing information or media content to you to shows the absolute opposite of modesty. Okay, what is unnatural to the eye, people are going to rubberneck to. Just like if you on the highway, people are going to rubberneck to the damn car crash across the lanes. People are going to rubberneck to that. And media, they want you to look at something so they can make money off of it. They can put ads up on it, right? And that's how so much of non-modesty, ultra worldly, and ultra debaucherous can make its way onto these television networks, MTV, a BET, you know what I'm saying? The Bad Girls, this, the Basketball Wives, that, you know, like all this other weirdo type bullshit, right? So I think that it's very important that we can all recognize that and be able to assess what's in it for you. All right, guys, that's all the thoughts that I got for this one right here. Shout out again to all of the young ladies that were on the anti-feminist portion of the panel. Shout out to Dr. Daff. Fantastic questions towards the end to pressure test their love or hate for men, and I think that their answers actually teased that right. The pink-haired Super Saiyan Rose, for her to only accumulate that what she likes of men is the same qualities that are in women says a lot, right? And for the other one to constantly call out sexual this and that while wearing bedazzled rhinestone boots, like, yeah, like, it's crazy how accurate that I am with this, but, you know, after being on this planet for this long, you can spot them from a mile away, baby. It's the tells, you heard? And, of course, shout out to Maggie over there that was able to just grab the ball from the top of the key and just sink it in for the half-court shot with the perfection within the form, all right? Dunk that thing in like, damn, Vince Carter in the All-Star game, all right? Nevertheless, shout out again to today's sponsor, Aura. As per usual, guys, remove your personal information off of these public websites. Aura is who I trust to do that. Utilize my link down below, and you're going to get 2 weeks free, all right? So go right now, all right? It is our job to continue to ensure that the lessons or the message is abundantly clear, and I think we've done our job here today. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And I'll see you soon. Peace.
So, without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR. He break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound when it's MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.